everyone and welcome to today's video. My name's Amy if you're new here, and today I'm going to be talking about charity shop etiquette. I've realised this is a bit of a rogue video, but if you saw my come through with me and haul I posted the other day, you'll know that some people can be really rude in the charity shop. Now, I know this from not only shopping in charity shops quite regularly, this is the biggest understatement of the year, but also volunteering in one, and I just thought I would talk to you about kind of the do's and don'ts of shopping, donating, and kind of just being like a customer of a charity shop. Now, have I written a script for this? No. Have I written notes? No. Is it a classic Amy rambly video that she'll probably ramble on for ages? Quite probably. But I just feel like this is an important thing to talk about because I don't think many people know the overarching kind of rules of shopping in a charity shop. Now, obviously there isn't any rules, but there's some things that are kind of just a polite thing to do. We're going to start off really basic of charity shop etiquette is if you knock something on the floor, pick it up, rehang it, and if it's one of them pieces that just falls off every time you re-put it on, maybe actually go up and give it to them and say, hey, I've tried to rehang this, but it's not wanting to be on the hanger. I would really appreciate that, and the amount of time all the volunteers, managers, whoever spends picking up clothes off the floor and rehanging them is insane. But if everyone just picks up what they knocked off, then it would take a lot of time off of our hands, and yeah, it's a really easy thing to do for you guys, but also a thing that would be greatly appreciated by the staff. And I just think if you were shopping in like a normal conventional high street shop and you knock something off the hanger, you would probably rehang it. I think there's something about charity shop that people just feel like they can kind of rummage through really viciously and then just leave stuff on the floor. And you've got to remember as well that like, we're trying to make this store look as nice as possible, and charity shops get a bad name for looking messy, but then if that's because the customers are like rummaging through all of the stuff without rehanging stuff, making things look neat again, then it's kind of not our fault. The next thing is kind of bargaining and that whole side of it. Now, I think this is something that maybe happened a lot more before, and now isn't such a dumb thing, but like overall, I'd say don't bargain, don't haggle in a charity shop. If things aren't how much you are willing to pay, then put them back. I have a perfect example of this the other day. I was shopping and saw a really nice handbag in British Heart Foundation, but it was priced at £8, and me personally, I wasn't going to spend £8 on that, but equally I know they probably could find someone to. Now, even if you think the prices are completely crazy, just don't comment on it. If you don't want it, don't buy it. That's absolutely fine. Like, you're not obligated to buy stuff you see in the charity shop, but if you're not happy with the price, then just put it back. I spend half my day at the shop listening to people moan about prices, and I actually think our price guide's really good. And you've got to remember as well that this is coming from overheads. This isn't coming from just like the volunteers. Like, most charity shops will have a guideline of what you're meant to price stuff with, and we have to stick to that. Now, that is not to say that you won't occasionally get someone say yes and bring the price down on something. And if you see something's damaged, maybe let them know, and then maybe they will say like, I'll let you have it a little bit cheaper. But most of the time we've analysed these clothes, most of the time the clothes have gone through sort of 3 people checking them. So if there is a mark on it, they probably do know about it and probably have priced it accordingly. But just don't barter with the price. Just if it's too expensive for you, put it back. And like, that will change from shop to shop. Like, there's some things I'll be willing to spend more money on. Some shops I know are more expensive. Sort of the bigger chains are going to be more expensive. British Heart Foundation, Cancer Research, on average, they're going to be more expensive. And if you're finding that the charity shops in the area you're shopping in are too expensive for you, then maybe try different areas. Research where your nearest outlet stores are, because there is a lot of outlet stores, whether that's Farley Hospice, what other ones quite often have outlets? Cancer Research even have outlets, Havens Hospice have outlets, and just research where your outlet stores are. If you're finding that the prices in your local high street or your local area are too expensive, then maybe find an area where you think the prices might be a bit more to your liking, but don't barter, especially with just the volunteers. And if you do see something that's too expensive for you, just don't make the comment, or make the comment when you're out of earshot, because it's really draining when you're putting a lot of work in and you just have people complain and complain and complain. And obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and as I said, there's plenty of shops I go in that I think that's so overpriced, but still, just don't be so leery about it, because it's really not what we want to be hearing, especially the volunteers are there just trying to do some good. Like, it's really draining to just hear really negative things all of the time. So yeah, don't barter with the prices and don't be rude. And actually, don't be rude needs to be its whole own category. I don't know what it is about working in a charity shop, or even if it might be all of retail, but customers can be so rude. I'll give you an example. The other day, I served this lady at the till and it was fine. Served her things. And as I was walking off, she's like, "Why are you walking off?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." Came back. She like, rang the bell. We have a bell, which isn't rude if you ring it. If there's a bell, ring the bell, because we appreciate that. Because then you'll get served quicker. So I came back and stood at the till, and we have at the moment a box of New Goods rings. Now these rings are £5. Personally, I think they're a little bit overpriced for what they are. They're just costume jewellery. Anyway, this lady proceeded to pick up every single ring in the box and tell me how ugly and disgusting, how horrible they are, how no one will ever buy them because they're so disgustingly horrible. And she picked up each one and showed me them and was like, "That's disgusting, that's horrible, I don't know who's going to buy that, that's horrible." And there was no need for it. It took precious time out of my day where I could have been sorting and organising and getting stuff out onto the shop floor. And I just had this woman tell me how horrible the stock was. And ultimately, most of the stuff we get in is completely out of our control. Even our New Goods stock, like, they were, again, completely out of our control. We get them sent in, we put them on the shop floor. Like, that's how it goes. But to have someone be so outwardly rude for no reason, it was just... yeah, it was really strange and was really uncalled for. And I feel like I get one super strange kind of rude encounter every shift I work. And I'm only there 2 days a week. And the fact that that's happening like every day is kind of crazy. So don't do that. And I think this can be my final point, but don't donate rubbish. We don't want your rubbish. There is a tip for a reason. There's like more recycling in places that you can take these things to. But we get dirty underwear, dirty, old, crusty socks. I picked up a pair of boxers once and the only way I can describe them was crispy. They were crispy because of how old they were. We don't want that. We can't sell it. Yes, we can rag it, which, if you don't know, rag is kind of like any clothes that we can't sell or any material that we can't sell goes in this bag and we get paid by the weight of it. But my advice, if you can do that, is if you have stuff like dirty underwear, some old stained t-shirts, ripped jeans that aren't meant to be ripped, like things that are broken, but you still want to donate because they can be used for rag, put them in a separate bag, and as you hand it in, say, "This stuff is for rag." Because the amount of times I've gone through bags, I've had really, really nice stuff in and sort of makes you want to root further in, and then it's just like really dirty underwear that I don't really want to be touching, then just bear in mind to maybe not put your really disgusting used underwear in the same bag as your really nice designer dress, because ultimately we're going to have to root through it. But if you come in and say, "This is rag," then we so much more appreciate that, because it just saves us so much time. It saves us having to touch dirty underwear. But just donate the things you'd want to buy in the shop. Like, if you know an area and you know the shops, you'll know the sort of stock they have in, and donate the stuff that you would want to buy rather than donating rubbish, because it just wastes our time so much out the back. And although we are so grateful to have loads and loads of donations, it is kind of draining searching through bags and bags of used dirty underwear. And when I mean dirty, like visibly dirty underwear, and that's just not what we want. But that's just like my quick overview on charity shop etiquette. If anyone has any more things they think are a good charity shop etiquette, then definitely leave them below and let us know. I know a lot of my followers have worked or volunteered or just shopped in charity shops, so definitely let me know if you have any more kind of ideas on charity shop etiquette, and let me know if you agree with the ones I've said. And that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment, as I said, your charity shop etiquette tips, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.